Yo, Bootleg Kev podcast, episode 15, man, with the legendary Hit Boy, my guy.
What's good, bro?
Hit, we've been talking off the mic a lot, but congratulations on everything.
Thank you, bro. Just locked in, man. You already know, man. I've been seeing a lot of love. A lot of people add me on IG, add me on Twitter, just like, man, you going crazy. And it's like, I feel like I've been in this pocket, but I guess it just take a minute for everything to catch up.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously you and Sean have been working on Detroit 2 for a long time.
Since 2018.
Yeah, I feel like, this has been highly anticipated. How long ago did you and Nas decide to fully connect for King's Disease?
It's crazy because, like you said, we was working on Sean album for a minute. We was already in a groove with that, so I was just, from talking to him every day, working on his records and listening to records that wasn't mine, but that he was gonna put on the album because I'm executive producing it. I just got so deep in a bag that by the time me and Nas linked it was only February of this year. That was six months ago. I mean, crazy. It's fucking September now.
Right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic. That's what's crazy about King's Disease. People think it's like, oh, they took the COVID shit, but we could thought of King's Disease before this shit cracked off, before we was all in the house, before all the corona, all that. So yeah, we connected in February and just did a record, and we just kept doing songs, and before we looked up, we had an album, and it didn't even take long to get the base of it, like maybe a couple weeks max.
Wow. I want to dive into everything that's going on in the last year, but I kind of want to also touch base on, a lot of people who are watching this might not know your come up, might not know where you're from. You're from Fontana, right?
Man, I'm a 210 baby. I'm from between Pasadena and the IE, so I stayed all over the IE, but I stayed in Pasadena until I was 13.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I just call myself a 210 baby. I'm back and forth.
Off the 210, man. Mm-hmm. I take that freeway every time I go back home to Phoenix. Take the 210. But yeah, so you started getting into music. Was it first as a producer? Was it first as a rapper? Like, how was your introduction into just creating?
Man, I was always into it, but when I was like 13, I just like picked up a pen and a pad, and I was just like, man, I don't know what the hell I'm about to say, but I'm about to just try to get something out. And every day I was on it, just writing. I used to fill up notebooks, just like, rapping all type of whatever, just anything I could think of. And then I finally got to the point where I could record. So that's when I met this kid in Rialto. This nigga was making beats, recording himself, Acid Pro FL 3.5.
Shout out to Acid.
Bro, so we was making albums and he was doing all the beats, and then after a while I just started messing with it, I was just playing around, and I was just like, this shit pretty fun. So I just kept going in, and after a while, I was heavy on, video games and shit. So yeah. I replaced, video games with beats, and I just kept making beats every day. I was playing basketball. I played my whole 9th grade year, and we was practicing for, the next season. And bro, over a weekend, I got a computer, set up the FL, and I went to school the next week. And I was like, yo, I'm not coming back to practice, bro. I'm about to be on these beats. And this is 2003, so they looking at me like, get the fuck out of
beats,
here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a one. That's early. You get it's a 1 in a million chance you're gonna.
Well,
make
that's
it.
like early Free Loops. That's around the time 9th had probably made like Little Brother had started to pop.
Man, that shit was like FL 3.5. Like, it was just, I can't even remember the functionalities, but I don't think you could do a whole lot back then.
So you pretty much replaced all of your extracurricular shit, video games, sports. I'm going all in on beats.
On just music. I was making albums, I was recording, I was writing, I was making beats, but I'm glad I stuck to like the sonics of it early in my career, just like, because I feel like you get a longer life when you locked in on the sonics of it. Like, being a rapper, you get a certain shelf life, so you know what I'm saying, everybody don't last forever with that, but making beats, you could catch runs on runs. Like, I'm on my fucking damn near 3rd run. I'm 33 years old, so it's like, locking in on the sonics also allowed me to be able to fucking still make my music and make this shit harder than it's ever been. Like, I feel like every song I do is just getting better and better. So, and I'm seeing people that I respect reach out like, yo, you really going on this shit. Like, it's not just a beat. So it's just music at the end of the day.
It's crazy because, like you say, you've had some runs, right? Like, I think we all know your first kind of run or introduction to everybody kind of knowing that who Hit Boy is was Watch the Throne.
Yeah.
That era of working with Ye and In Paris is one of the most iconic songs.
Yeah. You already
ever.
know.
Like that wave had to be like it you know, from there you was on, you know, working with Riri and there was
A$AP Rocky, Kendrick, a lot of
just
people.
a crazy run. I felt like at that time I was real close with my dude Lifted, who did Mercy, who was working with Kanye. What
Shout out to the homie.
yeah, but what because why didn't we get more music with you and Ye?
Man, bro, look, this is the thing. And that's why it's another part that's, you know, my story that's disconnected, because you gotta think about it, bro. I was signed to Good Music for 2 years, right?
As a producer.
And I mean, I produced, you know, Wish You Would with him and Rose. I produced Theraflute. I produced Click. I produced Christmas in Harlem. I produced Niggas in Paris.
Is that Mortal Kombat on? Let's turn that thing on. Keep going. But so In Paris, Click.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's just a 2 year span, and let alone like, you know, producing stuff like My God for Pusha, producing multiple songs on John Legend's album, producing songs on Big Sean's Detroit 1. I had a beat on there. So just like I did a lot of shit.
No, you did do a lot. I just think
span.
that like once that 2 year span was up, it was almost like that was like it with y'all working together.
I mean, you know, we both creatives, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We both just like, it was always something, but it's nothing but respect on my side, you know, as far as the creative goes. Like,
when you were signed with Good, was it like, did they get first right refusal on your beats?
man, I mean, they would just take the hardest shit. So it was basically like that anyway.
Right.
Like, I mean, you know, it's funny, bro. At a point, I was like telling my manager, like, if it's not Ye, Jay, or Beyonce, like, don't book no sessions. Like, this was I can't think about how long I was on this wave, but I was on that wave for a while of just like, you know, and that's something that's crazy to be able to even say. But, you know, I guess this is why when people want to call it a resurgence now, like, it's just me spreading my sound out more and just locking in with more people and just dialing in on just that level, I guess.
Now, the other wave that I was a really big fan of and really close to, shout out to my dog's Audio Push.
You know what I'm saying?
When you launched HS87, and really just went hard putting on your area.
No, that was another thing, man. Like, you gotta understand, I caught Niggas in Paris, and I wasn't trying to make a Niggas in Paris. That was just the type of music me and the homies did. Like, one of my niggas, Chili Chill, he had a song on the Niggas in Paris beat. We was about to drop that on his mixtape right before Don C hit me, like, yo, send me the files. Like, that was just a beat that I was like, whatever on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, like, you know, balancing producing for high level artists, trying to do my own shit, trying to, like, you know, produce for Audio Push, K Roosevelt, all the homies. Like, that was just a lot for a fucking 25-year-old to deal with and not having, like, the proper infrastructure. So it just was me pushing myself every day, and after a while you just get burnt out. So, you know, I just had to really scale back and just let me just go back to being Hit Boy, like, no expectations, no industry ass shit. Like, I'm about to just make heat and I'm finna lock in.
Is there anything you regret about that HS87 era? You guys made some amazing music. I think a lot of it was really slept on. I think, you know, Come As You Are by Audio Push, one of my favorite tapes.
For sure.
And I just felt like you guys kind of, despite even being affiliated with Interscope at the time, I felt like they never really gave y'all like the just due for the level of music y'all were making. Was there anything?
It's just like I said, man, I had so much going on, trying to, you know, remain hot as a producer, you know, get my artists hot, all that shit. But it ain't nothing I regret at all. Hell no. Like, you know what I'm saying, being able to put on for the homies, get them opportunity regardless of, you know what I'm saying, how everything panned out. Everybody's still doing their thing, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we all got to learn. I got to learn on a high level, you know what I'm saying? I caught that record. Jimmy Iovine just gave me a crazy bag, and then
the House of Hit was created?
But then that was it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, this is how you do it, whoop-de-whoop.
He's like, here's your front end bag, now you figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So,
like,
you know, that's cool, but, you know, that was like going to, like, college, like, for me. You know
you guys had a house in Encino that
in
was...
Tarzana.
In Tarzana, yeah, that was...
Had it cracking.
It was crazy. Everybody was in rooms working.
I had like 5 studios. Everybody was pulling up, working, but you know, it also got to be too much. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. Yeah, the parties were kind of cool. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. The parties was cracking for sure. But just, yeah, bro. Like that's what led me to this point I'm at now. You know, just I did that for years, like having these home studios and just locking in and having people in and out. And I feel like me going crazy now was me like, I'm about to go work by myself. I'm about to like just really go back to just Hit Boy. And, you know, I found a perfect room to lock in on. Within the first year, I won a Grammy out that motherfucker with Nip. Rest in peace,
Rest in peace
Racks
to
in
Nip,
the middle. So, you know, it's just, I don't know. I just went back to being me, like full blown.
We also skipped over Surf Club, that era.
Right, exactly. Surf Club, man.
Surf
Club, HS87, nigga, all that. That's
Nah,
long as I'm alive, that shit is alive. The
For
homies
sure.
is repping, I'm repping. Like that shit ain't never going nowhere. Like it's just, you know, it's timing for everything.
100%, man. All right, so let's fast forward now. You know, obviously, you're having an incredible 2020. I think that I've seen a lot of people eat shit during this quarantine, and a lot of people thrive. And I feel like you are thriving, my brother. Like,
yeah, man, I'm blessed for sure, man.
And
Just
this
like,
is all shit that's been in the works, like you said. It's not like, you know, all like you made a conscious effort to like.
Nah, that go for like, you know what I said earlier in the conversation. Imagine if I was just a rapper, like I couldn't do no shows right now. Like I'd be on a different fucking.
A lot of people depending on those back end club bags.
For sure. So me being a producer, shit, niggas is still getting beats through email and they still pulling up, doing safe sessions and shit. You know what I'm saying? As safe as we can be, and just, you know, fucking being a producer is the shit right now for sure.
Let me ask you this: with King's Disease, were you conscious of the fact that people have critiqued Nas for having a bad ear for beats?
Nah, for sure. But I mean, shit. That's just, people always form narratives. That shit is just...
Listen, Nas is my favorite rapper ever.
Word, yeah.
So Nas is my
that's
number
just,
one.
You know, that's just people talking, just saying what they gonna say. But at the end of the day, Nas then rapped on some hard ass.
Oh, of course,
too.
Illmatic, and I mean, no, but I do think that there was like an era in Nas's career where he was like definitely like maybe giving Chris Webber a couple of beats on his album.
That's funny. Nah, I mean, you know, that's where he was at in life. But at the end of the day, man, like I just knew it was a job of service like that, and I had to really, you know, I was putting on for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people wanted to hear him sound good. So,
dog, for real, like I feel like it's almost like you had a duty as like a participant in hip hop culture to be like, yo, Nas, we gonna make sure this shit is solid.
I was on it every day, man. Like we, you know what I'm saying, chopping it on the phone every morning. Like he giving his thoughts, I'm giving my thoughts. Like I'm updating songs by the day, adding production, taking away shit, just trying to make it sound, you know what I'm saying, as enjoyable as possible. And for it to end up being, you know, received on this level. And you know, I woke up to a fucking FaceTime from Timbaland in the morning, the album dropped, and just the stuff he was saying, I'm like, yo, damn, this is really like, it's touching people on that level. You know what I'm saying? You always hope that it will, but for people on that level to reach out and just be like, yo, this shit is super hard, bro. Like, man, like that's the win.
Obviously, you and I was working together. At what point in time and whose decision was it to be like, yo, let's do this whole shit together? Like, let's do a whole.
It was pretty fast, bro. Like once
because he could have been like, I just tried that.
Yeah, for sure.
With
for
Kanye
sure.
EP, and it didn't go.
I mean, the energy was just right, bro. Like you hear the album, like them joints, a lot of them joints, like the skeletons at least was being made within the first few sessions. Blue Bins, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Car 85, like
Car 85, so crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Before Charlie was even on it, it's just like, you know, we was tapping in and we felt like, yo, this shit feel different, and he just kept saying like, yo, I'm gonna just keep pulling up. And he kept pulling up shit.
It's crazy because Nas has always, people have always wanted to hear him do full projects with producers, specifically Primo.
Primo for sure.
Primo's like the one that everyone's like, yo, well, we need that Nas and Primo album. I remember they're on the cover of that Scratch magazine back in the day.
Yeah.
And like, you got it. Like, you got the whole Nas like project, and it came out incredible, man. Like,
thank you, bro.
Yeah. Now, you and Sean's relationship, obviously, you guys have been working. Like you said, you were on the first Detroit. You've been working with Good Music for so long, and it seems almost like I said, y'all been like you said, you've been working on Detroit too since 2018.
Yeah.
It just feels like he really trusts you,
man. And that's, it's funny because we've had conversations and back. I mean, obviously making an album, you're gonna go through ups and downs, and I'm like, nigga, you gotta trust me, nigga. You got really going in on that fact, and he like, nigga, you got damn near my whole album, nigga. I trust you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. We just developed, like, we always was cool. Like I said, we did Click together back in the day. Did a joint on Detroit, the first Detroit, and when we tapped back in, it was at the same time when I tapped back in with Nip. We all linked up. Like, I seen them walking together, fucking chopped it with him, told him, like, look, I got shit for both of y'all. Sean pulled up. We might have did like 6, 7 just scratch ideas the first day he pulled up, and I'm like, oh yeah, this shit feel right. We got to keep it going, and we just kept locking in.
Yeah, because I also feel like there was a lot of pressure on Sean, man. Like, he tried putting out some singles that I feel like the right approach was to just drop the album and let the people choose. But, Def Jam's going to try to throw singles out there. Like, he put out the Berserk record, which was fire.
That shit went gold.
But I'm saying that shit was fire. But I'm saying, like, you know how these labels are like, oh, this not working on radio. Or, like,
for sure.
A single again was fucking fire. That's got to be, that has like fucking, that shit is huge. But I feel like with Sean, like, kind of a similar space where it's like, yo, you can't name something Detroit 2.
Yeah, and it's
because
not that.
people, fans at least, kind of look at that as his best project.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so for him to name that Detroit 2.
He was conscious of that, for sure.
And it also seemed like it might have got to him a little.
I mean,
like the pressure a little bit.
It's all, artistry is a crazy thing, man. Like, it really can fuck with your head and your emotions. So, but I mean, you could hear in the album, like, he talking about growth. He talking about, the mental things that, all the shit he's been through. And it's like, that's something that we should appreciate, man, because a lot of people not laying that all out there like that.
A lot of people are not being transparent in their music like that. Deep Reverence, that record was, obviously, Sean's verse was recorded after Nipsey passed. Mm-hmm. Was that Nipsey verse gonna be for Sean originally, or was it? How did that work out?
We was just cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like, the same time we had did Racks in the Middle, he pulled up. We did the first verse, and he was like, "Man, pull something else up." Start going through beats. Pulled up the Deep Reverence beat, loaded it up. He sat there, thought it out, did the verse, and again, he was like, shit, let's go to some other shit. So we just was flipping through ideas, and that was one that just was so happened to be sitting there one day. Me and Sean was just having a real life conversation about a lot of the stuff that he talked about in Deep Reverence. And I was like, bro, you got to put this shit in the song. So I pulled up the Nip joint, and I was like, this could be the perfect shit for you to just spaz on, and he went in.
Was it hard, like, because there's the interview clip at the end where he talks about wanting to work with Sean. Mm-hmm. How hard was it to get, his fam to clear the verse? Was it?
I mean, they showed love for sure. Black Sam, like Steve-O, like the whole squad, they just made sure it was A1. It wasn't, too tough. I mean, me and Nip got a Grammy together, so it's like,
that shit's crazy.
They should know that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm taking care of the music for sure.
Yeah, Racks in the Middle is all-time amazing record.
Word.
Getting that Grammy, bro, had to be like a bittersweet thing. You know what I'm saying? Winning that, but not having Nip there to have it with you.
Nah, yeah, that shit was it was dope getting the Grammy. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask me like, which one mean more out of like Niggas in Paris and Racks in the Middle. It's just like, they both mean a lot, but Racks, that shit just was like unreal, bro. Like, just seeing that whole play all the way through and it actually play out it was no industry bullshit to making a record. It wasn't no A&R ass shit. Like, I put the record together, Nip was fucking with it. He it was, his whole thing was like, I don't care who not fucking with this shit, I'm making sure it come out. Like, his label was like fighting him, like, yo, it's another record by another artist coming out, you need to hold off and whoop-de-whoop. And he was like, man, fuck that. He was like, I went and banged on them niggas and made them put it out. So it's like, for us to win a Grammy and then that other record not even be mentioned, it's like, okay, I guess I do know something. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was funny because I remember when Nip put the record out, like I was talking to him and he was just like, I was like, yo, so like, was this like on the album? And he's like, nah, it just feels like it just felt like we need to put this out, like, and just see what it does,
Nah,
because
for
it was
sure.
one of them records.
Definitely, man. It was all timing, man, and all God. It just was a line. It was supposed to happen.
Yeah, and also a record that really helped. You know, obviously Roddy was doing his thing, but really kind of helped kick off Roddy's, you know, commercial looks.
Word.
When we talk about your run, Benny the Butcher was here, Burden of Proof, you and him, crazy. Your just love of Griselda has been lit. You're on Conway's album, the record he just put out with Dage.
Shout to homie.
But yeah, you and Benny, I remember I was so excited to see y'all in. Like last year, I hit you. I was like, bro, I got to pull up here with y'all cooking, like, because Griselda is some of my favorite shit, and you're one of my favorite producers, and I think it's like a match that I knew was gonna be fire, but it seems like, you know, wait, Griselda and Hit Boy.
I mean,
what's this
I feel
like?
that was with the Nas shit too. You know, people was like, man, I don't know what this about to sound like. So for me to always have this versatile like mentality and just versatile sound, and for people to think I only did club records, that this was a perfect opportunity for me to dial in with artists who have that crowd that's going to be able to show like, damn, like Hit really is that, you know what I'm saying, on all levels.
Like you could do album. I feel like anybody can chase what's hot in the club right now, but to make those timeless album cuts, them timeless records, what would, like, again, I'm sure it was like you and Benny probably chopping it up, and then he comes through, and then it's like, oh, we should just do a whole project.
I mean,
how did that?
Yeah, I saw him come to LA. We had never even chopped it. I just hit him like, bro, if you got time while you out here, just pull up. I got some shit. He came through. First record we did, I'm like, this shit a classic. You know what I'm saying? First song. So I'm like, we got to keep going. Once again, he kept pulling up. Before you knew it, we had an album, dog. Like, it's really been simple math. Like, just having that shit on deck, having some soulful, having something hard, like, just having different sounds and people they gravitating towards, you know what I'm saying? Without it being some watered down shit.
What do you think it is about the Griselda shit, Benny, Conway, that the chemistry between you guys is so natural, being somebody who's traditionally looked at as somebody who's out of, you know, Cali, you know what I'm saying? And those guys are so extremely underground, East Coast, boom bap shit.
I mean, I just fuck with music, period, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's something on the radio, whether it's something I'm hearing out on a random, like, I just fuck with anything that feel like something and feel like they doing it with intention. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every bar, them boys is serious about this shit, you know what I'm saying? And you could tell, and people who take the craft serious, when they link up, you know, you gonna get something beautiful 9 times out of 10. So I'm taking my shit serious. The whole Griselda, they on their wave, so, you know, we locked in.
I know you just put out two of your projects. You put out something with Dom in August,
also known as,
and then you put out the Chauncey Hollis project.
Chauncey Hollis project before that, yep.
Are you, obviously, I just told you, I'm like, yo, man, these projects are fucking fire.
Good looking, bro.
Are you, by the way, that record you got with Thurs, where y'all going back and forth, was crazy.
Mood change, good. Shout out to Thurs, man, and Jan Sport J.
Are you thinking about doing a Hit Boy album that is essentially maybe you participating in rapping somewhat, but kind of like almost like some compilation shit where
some chronic shit. I mean,
some chronic shit. Yeah,
I'm just working, bro. I don't really be. That's the thing. Even with these projects I'm putting together, like, they so organic, and it's just like once I get in the room and it's moving, like, we start to form it naturally. So I can't call what's next, but I just know, like, I'm cooking up records every day. I'm making beats. I'm recording. I'm doing all the above. So it's gonna line up eventually.
Who is there? How about this? What's the other rapper that you have the most records in the cut with right now?
Man, I got a gang of shit with Sean. I got a gang of shit with my nigga T Grizzly.
You and T Grizzly been
that
great,
dude
for sure.
is serious, man, bro.
His last album, you had some shit on that. That's his best. That's his best body of work. He's
I had 5 joints on there. You know what I'm saying? We got an album worth of shit though, probably like 2 albums worth of music. So, you know, I just be taking it one day at a time and trying to run it up with niggas as much as I can. But T, Sean, Benny, like I said, I'm just locked in. I mean, obviously, me and Dom got 100 records.
Yeah, you and Dom.
That's family.
That goes without saying. Mm-hmm. Talk about you and Dom's relationship. I feel like Dom has been. I feel like he's almost made the decision to like. I don't know, man. I feel like Dom just be staying out the way.
That's Dom, though. You know what I'm saying? He one of the most Cali niggas on earth. You know what I'm saying? So he be vibing just like on his own wave. Like, and he don't care about no extras. Like, he don't care about no industry shit. He don't care about none of that. So, when we linked, I mean, we did music way back, like from the West Side with Love, the first one and all that. So, for us to link, like we linked like 2016 before we put out the first $500,000, and we just like was on a similar wave, like as far as to how we thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that bled into the music. That's why people hear our shit and be like, damn, y'all mesh well. I wouldn't think, but like we think similar too, like as far as like just being laid back, not really giving a fuck about the extras
100%
and shit. So, once we start locking in this $500,000 shit, that put me in perspective, like, okay, like this is how you make a project that, feel like just like a moment, like something that people could fuck with. And that's something I always admired about his own shit. Like when he put out an album, it feel like from the artwork to the merch he doing, like the music, it just feel real Dom Kennedy, you know what I'm saying? So for me to lock in with all these other artists now, like I'm just taking a lot of the stuff from, doing the $500,000 albums and applying it to what I'm doing now. Mm-hmm.
Give me what's like your top 2 or 3 studio sessions ever? Just obviously, I'm sure Racks in the Middle's got to be up there, but like in general, like you've had some insane situation. I mean, you just said, sure. I told my manager, if it ain't Jay, Kanye, or Beyonce, like.
I mean, obviously, making Racks in the Middle, that whole process was just fire from the time we started it till we got it mixed and put it out. Like, that shit was just a moment. But going back, like when I first met Hove, that shit was crazy.
What session was that for?
That was a Watch the Throne session. And I had been, we was working out of the hotel in New York, the Mercer Hotel.
Yep.
So I had been up there a few days, and I'm like, damn, this Hove gonna come through. Well, I'm just fucking with Kanye every day. We making beats together. He recording on my shit. We just cooking. We was working on John Legend stuff. We was just literally just cooking. A few days into me being there, mind you, it's like a snowstorm and shit, cold as hell. So I walked out to like walk down the block. Mind you, I'm freezing to get down there. As soon as I get there, I get an email from Ye like, yo, you gotta come back to the studio. So like fucking walk back to the spot, and I walk in, and Hove is just, you know what I'm saying, sitting right there. And he was just cool as hell, like, you know what I'm saying? I thought like I had heard like, you know what I'm saying, like bro was like on some like mean type shit, you know what I'm saying? So for him to be so cool, that shit was just fly, man. Like, damn, like, and then we made Niggas in Paris. It's just like, you can't even fucking write that.
That's crazy. Hey, how many records that we never heard? Because there was this rumored sequel to the Good Music album that was supposed to come out. I heard one song called Trash Bags that Lifted played me. That was like almost like a Mercy Part 2, but I'm sure there was so many.
I feel like I do remember that Trash Bags.
Yeah, it had the whole lineup. Yeah, it had everybody on it. Mm-hmm. I remember Pusha T had a line that was like, body bags, I need my money in body bags. It was crazy. But nonetheless, how many records did you guys did you have that were supposed to come out that ended up not ever dropping?
Nah, that's the thing, bro. Even with the whole Watch the Throne shit, we had made other records in person, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Niggas in Paris was a beat I just emailed. The records we was making while we was in the studio was totally different. They didn't even see the light of day. I thought them songs was going on Watch the Throne. Like, niggas was hype on them. Didn't make it, and then this beat I just randomly emailed ended up being like damn near the biggest song on the album. So
no, not damn near. Literally the biggest song of
word.
Yo, do you remember like the first time you saw the reaction in the club to that song?
Hell yeah, for sure.
Because the reaction in the club to that record was like,
that's when I was really on that. I was just hype. I would be hyped to make a song and then go to fucking Hyde or wherever was cracking at the time
and just watch them. Bro, that was one of them few records.
We had them Greystone nights.
You could bring that record back like 8 times back to back to back. Like Now those happen like once every like 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
Like that record, I remember you could play that bitch 7 times in a row in the club. And
for sure. And at the concert.
oh, they did do it at the concert, actually.
They did that shit like 13 times.
I know. I saw them in Vegas, and I think they did. Yeah, I think you were there in Vegas too. Were you at the Vegas show?
Not for the Throne show. I was there for a whole.
You were in LA though.
I was in LA.
Yeah.
Paris, New York. Yeah.
Yo, that shit's crazy, man.
Yo, look, man, quick break from the podcast to tell you about Odd Socks. All right. They're our official sponsor. They support what we do here at the Bootleg Kev podcast. All right. They got them Nickelodeon joints. They got these, shout out to Ghostbusters. I might keep those. Anyway, what you got to do is hit that oddsocksofficial.com. If you want to support what I do, the Bootleg Kev podcast, then support our partners, Odd Socks. Go buy some socks, man. Holidays are coming up. Oddsocksofficial.com. Keyword Bootleg Kev. You're getting 20% off of the most comfortable socks in the world. Shout out to Odd Socks.
I want to get back to Detroit too. I feel like this album is in the running for album of the year.
Word.
It's cohesively just incredible. You just mentioned that you and Sean have a lot of other shit. How hard was it picking the records and forming the cohesiveness of what the project ended up being?
I mean, that's the thing about being an executive producer and then making records yourself. It's like, you don't want to feel like you just bigging your shit up, you know what I'm saying, all the time. Like, so it's like I try to just teeter on the line. I'm gonna let you know, like, nigga, this shit hard to the motherfucker. Like the Respected record, like that was early in the process. That was a record that wasn't even really thought about being on the album. You know what I'm saying? And then we just started locking in on it more. So it's like it's just certain moments where you got to know how to, put the bid in for your shit, but also, like, okay, this record by this person also makes sense. So I just try to help as much as I can. But Sean knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted it to sound like. So he really placed everything where he needed to be. I just was kind of like, his extra ear.
Hey, it came out amazing. Wow. Was it dope? I feel like you kind of have a bucket list of guys who've rapped over your beats.
Mm-hmm.
You just did a whole fucking album with Nas, Eminem's on the Friday Night Cypher.
Right, and we did Drop the World.
I didn't even realize. Shout out, Drop the World.
Shout out Lil Wayne and shit.
Which album? That was the rock album, right?
Yeah, Rebirth.
Yeah. That was the best song on that album.
That's hard.
But yeah, it's crazy because like the bucket list of artists that you've been working with is like who's left. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as the all-time greats.
Whoever trying to lock in, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't really. I can't call it, man. I just be letting this shit flow and just let it happen. Yeah,
I mean, I wish Outkast was making music again because that would be a movie.
No, you know what? I do think about that often. I'm like, yo, if I got
you and Andre,
to my studio, like,
well, what could actually? What are the possibilities that could happen?
I honestly have no clue. But if he came, bro, it'll be over with.
Yeah, that'd be special. You just tweeted something the other day. Was it yesterday about all the records that you and Travis have together?
Yeah.
And like which was everyone's favorite? You and Travis. I'm assuming there's going to be more music in the future. Did you guys originally link up in the Good Music days, like back then? Because I know he was around in that era.
We linked before he even got with or met Kanye. Like he was fucking with Killhofer. Killhofer was mixing my first song that ever dropped, which was Jay-Z Interview, my first rap joint, official rap joint.
Yep.
He came to my session and I was just like, we just chopped it. It wasn't too much, but it was like when we finally linked, I just was like, man, this kid is fucking, he got it. Like I just saw the visuals, I saw the sounds he was using, like just the way he was approaching it. I was like, he a real artist. Like he gonna be straight in this shit for sure. And for him to take it to this level, man. And it's like, I mean, bro, you see that lineup. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro.
You guys got classics, bro. Classics. Which part of Sicko Mode did you do?
I did the first part.
Before it cuts into Travis's part. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you ever, when you I'm assuming you never heard Sci-Hi's version of Sicko Mode until everyone else heard it?
Yeah, I don't think I still even heard it.
Oh yeah, no. Did the Travis part? Man, Sci-Hi's a fucking GOAT, by the way. Shout out to him
for sure, man. You know, that's more good music.
You and Travis got any others? I know he's working. Are you? You know?
Hey man, I'm just working, bro. I can't put nothing out there, but you know, I fuck with bro.
I saw how big of a deal it was for you to have Dr. Dre shout out,
man,
IE on a Nas album.
Nas shouted out the IE. Dr. Dre shouted me out.
He shouted you out at the end of that record.
You know, like that shit just took me back, bro. Like I'm listening to fucking The Chronic when I'm 12 years old. Like still living in Pasadena, my family in the crib, literally with this shit on repeat all day. You know what I'm saying? And for him to, you know what I'm saying, lock in on my shit and shout me out and throw some bars on it, you know what I'm saying? On the Firm reunion, by the way. Come on, dog.
That record,
producer from Cali, young producer, looking up to Dre, hop on your shit, you know, that's just like movie shit.
How, because did Nas know he wanted to do a Firm reunion record? Like, did he come to you and say, hey, dude, I want to get everybody back together? Or did the beat kind of speak to him in that way?
Nah, we had the joint. He had did his part. And I just was like, man, we should get AZ on this shit. And as I told him once, and he was like, okay, for sure. And then we played the song again. I was like, yo, let's get AZ on this shit. And he was like, you serious? I'm like, for sure. Sent it to him, dude, bodied that shit. And he was like, yo, I'm about to just throw the rest of the homies on there. And then after that, he just, I guess he linked with Dre just like on some regular shit for them to chop it. And he ended up playing a joint and Dre hopped on that motherfucker right there.
Yeah, even to hear Cormega on a song with Nas again is so crazy because they had like that big falling out and Cormega's so fire.
Yeah, for sure. They all bodied it, man. Foxy,
of course. Was there ever any attempt to try to get Nature on the record?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because I mean Nature's the only guy from the Firm that was missing.
Or
shout out to Nature. And then Dre was probably the last piece, I'm assuming, right?
Oh yeah, he was. He was the last piece added.
That shit's crazy. Like Nas hit you like, yo, Dre's on the shit. What?
Movie.
Fire. That shit crazy, bro. King's Disease, Detroit 2.
King's Disease.
Chauncey Hollis project is out.
AKA Dom Kennedy, also known as, man,
Fire.
Courtesy $500,000. Squad, man. Detroit 2, King's Disease right now.
Are you still technically Rock Nation, working with Rock Nation?
They help me on the management side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the management side, but like when you're dropping like
when I drop my solo shit, I just drop it independent, just like, you know, going through the whole label shit. Like, I'm not trying to get involved in too much of that. I'm trying to really be able to control as much of my shit as I can. So whenever I feel like dropping, I could just drop. And that's what I've been on.
How important has it been? You talked about being at Chalice, where your studio is. How important has that location been to everything that's going on right now? Because you said like people just pop in.
Yeah, no, it's been beautiful, man. Shout out to the whole, you know, staff, everybody. They show love. Being there, I've been there 2 years now, bro, and just like the amount of placements, and not even just placements, like helping people, you know, put their album together, and just all the energy. Nip coming through, doing racks and doing deep reverence and leaving that energy in there, like that shit is just, it's been love. And then people also, you know, rent the other rooms out there. So, you know, I run into people. I lock in with people that's just so happen to be there that day.
I saw you say that you said, would you believe it if I told you I sold $1 million worth of beats this year?
Mm-hmm.
$1 million worth of beats in 2020.
Come on, man.
And this is, I think you might have said this prior to King's Disease being out.
I think I did.
Yeah, because I feel like people aren't like really hip to how much work like you got out there, right? That's not what's going on.
I mean, since I said that, damn near maybe 20 songs didn't drop that I produced. So
so how many? When you say you made $1 million worth of beats, what, like, cause we think of the old school days, right? Where you would hear, like, we had Scott Storch in here, and he said that the most he ever got for a beat was like $250,000.
Yeah.
He was like, but that was like the peak.
No, for sure. I mean, the most I ever got for one beat was like $75K.
75.
I ain't on no 250 shit, but
what? Do you remember what beat it was?
Yeah, for sure. it wasn't even like it was like for a fucking commercial.
No, Storch said the same thing. He said that the beat was a commercial. He was like, it was some commercial, and they paid me $250 and paid Timbaland $250, and we produced the song for a commercial. I said, what?
Yeah.
So it's for what fucking
Some
commercial?
Gatorade shit.
Damn, a Gatorade commercial. That shit is crazy. Have you ever sold somebody a beat and regretted it later?
I used to when because earlier, like that's why my volume is so crazy now, because I was trying to tap into making like hard beats damn near every time I sit down, and now that I'm just in that zone, like back in the day it was just harder for me to get shit off. So damn, ask me the question one more time. You cutting this up, right?
Yeah. No,
okay, for sure.
Nah, but I was saying, have you ever sold somebody a beat,
sold a beat,
or gotten or
no? That's what I'm saying. Like that's what made me say that. Like
and regretted
when I just when I held on to every beat, and it meant everything to me back in the day because I didn't make as many dope ones. Yeah. So, but now it's like, man, okay, I'll make another one. Like that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, because I know I asked Scott. I was like, did you regret giving Hulk Hogan's daughter a beat?
That's hilarious.
That shit is hilarious. One of the songs that I remember when you first played me, Grinding My Whole Life, was at your house.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably 6 months before it came out. And I remember thinking to myself, this is the only song I've ever heard that gave me the same chills and vibes of grinding from the clips.
Word.
Like it just was so hard, and like
That's crazy.
the whole fucking crew was on it.
My pops was on it.
Your dad was on it.
Free Big Hit.
That song though, the G Unit version blew up.
See, that's the thing, right? And I'll be thinking about this. I'm like, so instead of just like taking a nigga style, like 50 should have just been like, Hit Boy, fucking make an album for us or come work with us. But it's like I feel like people think too small, you know what I'm saying? Like niggas like, oh, I see they having a wave, they got a hard beat, they got a hard melody idea, vocal idea. Let me just take that and try to wave up on niggas versus being a real one and being like, I'm gonna hit this nigga and go make some hard ass shit.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, did you have any sort of, because that song was so, I know that was a very important song for your label and for your crew.
For my life.
For your life. All of that. Video was crazy. Like, did you have any sort of animosity towards the G Unit version? I felt like people heard that beat and thought it was a G Unit song that were outside of being fans of what you were doing. Like, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like,
at the end of the day, bro, like I said, man, I feel like they was thinking small by doing that, you know what I'm saying? Because it didn't really even lead to nothing. Like, he just said the other day he want to forget about G Unit, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I put my life on the line to make that record, put my whole family, you know what I'm saying? Not my whole family, but all my homies, and put my pops on it. Like, that was real for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just like, oh, this a hard beat, we just gonna rap on this shit, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's where niggas be thinking, so it is what it is.
For people who don't know, you said your dad's locked up again. How's he doing? Everything. I mean, because I always thought that was such a beautiful thing that you had him on the album.
We communicate, we lock in. You know what I'm saying? We talk every other day, and it's just an unfortunate situation. But once he back on the streets, we right back on this shit.
And then with the other everybody else who was a part of the crew, K. Roosevelt, by the way, K. Roosevelt is so fire.
That nigga's fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Audio push. Money.
It's timing, dog. It's timing, man.
But I'm just saying, like, how is it? I mean, I talk to Price and Octane a lot, but
yeah,
how is everybody? Is everybody still kosher? Everything's still lovely.
Everybody's still putting their music out. K Rose, he putting merch out, putting music out. He's doing his thing. Audio push. They locked in. Yeah, all the homies. Kent Money, that's my dog. So
he was on your project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
on Chauncey Hollis project. So,
for sure. Any chance? Let me ask you this: when you see, like, as a producer, there's you'll see people come and go a lot, right? Mm. I feel like more, even maybe even more so than rappers. I don't know. There's been a lot of rappers that have come and gone in the last 5 years. But producers, I feel like it's like a year to 2 years, right? And then usually they're sound, because they have such a sound that they're out of here, right? Mm-hmm. It's like they got a cool 18-month run, and then it's like, well, what happened to those guys? Well, now there's the new producer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
is that something that you're self-conscious of and aware of? Because you've never had a sound per se that was like you said, people would say to you like, Hit Boy, you know, I don't know if I want to hear him with Nas because he's just making club shit. But like, that's not the case if people really have been paying attention to what you do. But like, are you an observer of the landscape of other producers and kind of like where people
for sure up? You know, I always, you know, I peep the game. I'm a real student of this shit. I'll be watching as much of it as I can, and I never looked at it like it would give me longevity if I stay versatile. I just looked at it as from a creative perspective. Like, I just want to be, you know, different every time. Like, I don't want to have a sound, but I never looked at it like the sound burns out anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I had moments of like, I would envy certain like, you know, producers when it's like, damn, they shit connecting so hard, but then I might have had bigger records than them, but it's like it didn't connect as much because there was no tag. You didn't hear
that,
you know,
tag shit.
You didn't hear certain people shouting me out in interviews and bigging me up like that. So it just was a more of a just real grind with my shit. It wasn't like a autopilot type thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like certain art, you know, like, you know, like a Mustard, like that shit is like fucking autopilot. Like, you know what you finna get, you know what I'm saying? As far as like when he was on his initial run,
when he was on his West Coast,
you knew you was finna get.
You knew what you were gonna
Tiger,
get.
Fucking YG.
Yeah. No, Mustard had to evolve.
You know,
he had to, and most people don't.
For sure.
Yeah, when Mustard first came out, it was like you said, it was the 100 beats per minute. It was, you know, you knew his sound, and I got to give it up to Mustard because he
definitely modernized it for sure.
Because he could have burnt out.
For sure.
He could have, man. And he switched up, and like shit, the fact he's got LMA and, you know, 10 Summers
He's
is
doing it, man, for sure.
The producer tag thing, I always wonder this, right? Because I'm like, yo, I almost feel like, because you initially didn't have a tag.
The crazy thing is, on my first placement on the J.Lo album, I had a tag. I whispered Hit Boy in the beginning, and then I stopped using that shit.
So yeah, but your bigger records initially,
for sure,
there was no tag on.
My first beat I sold in 07, yes. But then after that, no tags until fucking damn near 2018 type shit.
Wait, so your first beat you ever sold was a J.Lo record?
Yeah.
Did you meet J.Lo?
I still never met her to this day, and this was 07.
Damn.
Yeah, that's my first beat I sold.
That shit is crazy.
So if you see this, holla at me, man. Come say what up.
Nah, but I was going to ask you, because there's other producers that don't have tags, like Louis Bell, who does a lot of the Post Malone stuff. Like, what is like, do you feel like you kind of have to have a tag nowadays? Because
hell no, you don't gotta have no tag, but it's just good for branding. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to get my brand up because I felt like my brand fell so far behind because of shit like that and not connecting it all the way. So I'm like, let me just find an easy way to just connect my shit now, and it's working out.
It is working out. Or is it Hit Boy on the beat? You got to go dessert?
That's one of them.
Or is it the Hit Boy?
Both of them.
Yo, I'm looking at the track listing with all the producers, right? Cool and Dre's on here, which is crazy. No ID. Mustard's got some on here. These records that are you're co-producing with, right? Let's say like a record like by the way, the Wolf song is crazy. I don't think you produced that shit. Is crazy.
Yeah, shout out Day Trip.
That shit is crazy. But like, what is being an executive producer? I don't think people understand what that means anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said earlier in the conversation, man, just having them, you know, difficult conversations and trying to, you know, just give my opinion on as much as I can without being biased or without being emotional about it, without being selfish about, you know, how many songs I got on it. I'm just like, I just want to give my opinion to where this could be the best possible, you know, project. Because Sean, he was zoned in, he was focused, he knew what he wanted. So I just was like there trying to be a second ear and add as much, you know, as information as I could. For sure.
What do you see the rest of the year looking like after Benny the Butcher shit?
Man, ain't no telling, bro. Ain't no telling. I got more sessions lined up. You know, some R&B stuff, some pop stuff.
Who do you want to work with, bro?
Whoever want to work with me, shit, and who really serious about making music.
But I'm saying, like, who do you want to work with? Like, who are you a fan of that you haven't worked with yet?
Man, I can't call it. I mean, shit, bro. Like, fucking, I want to do an album for Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? I want to do an album for fucking Jay-Z. I want to do an album for plenty of people. But it's like, you know, I already work with these people too. But if I can get an album with Kendrick, I can get an album with Jay-Z. Like, you know, that'd be lovely.
Or even, yo, I know Kendrick was just shooting a music video.
I seen that. I know he about to.
You know, he about to melt the whole game. He about to go on one of them 12-month runs and then just disappear for 3 more years. What about on some pop shit? Like, I feel like you and Post would make some fire shit. Like,
oh, for sure. Like I said, man, whoever open to work, who really serious about music, man.
It's lit. Hit Boy.
100, Bootleg Kev, you already know.
Go get everything this guy's working on. Really,
King's
man.
Disease, Detroit 2, a.k.a. Chauncey Hollis Project. You already know.
Chauncey Hollis Project is fucking fire.
Thank you, bro.
And I appreciate the fact that you are still on your rapping shit, man.
100. Yeah.
Because you can rap your ass off. And I feel like you're improving, man.
I am, bro. Every beat I do get better. Every rap I do get better. That's my whole.
You're the only. I always tell this to everybody because you'll be in the. You could go into any studio session with a producer, no matter who the fuck it is, and they'll be playing beats, and there's gonna be a few that you're just like, yeah, I'm not feeling that one, bro. I've never been in a session with you, dog. You ain't never played no whack shit ever.
Nah, for sure. Good.
It's all like. This look like, ooh,
appreciate
this
it,
shit is crazy. Boom. Well, look, shout out to my guy Hit Boy.
100.
Go support everything he's got going on. You got any sort of merch or anything?
I ain't got no merch, but I'm locking in on it though. I have some soon.
Got to get that Hit Boy merch.
For sure.
Y'all, because y'all had the HS87 shit going up.
Yeah.
I was still mad. I ain't never got none of that fly shit y'all had 5 years ago.
You had some, but it's all good. We're going to get it back going.
Boom. There you go, man. Hit Boy, Bootleg Kev. It's lit.
100.
Perfect.